So hello guys, and welcome back to another video in our channel. And our video today is about I've really been asked to try and give an explanation on the changes that Enzo Maresca managed to make at halftime that saw Chelsea actually manage to keep a clean sheet and actually score 4 goals. So what did Enzo Maresca change? And a lot of people are really curious to know what tactical changes did he make, what changes in systems did he make. But you'll be so surprised to realize the kind of change he actually made, because he actually even spoke about the change that he made in his post-match press conference. And Enzo Maresca really gave an elaborate answer to this. Now, getting from his press match conference, we understand what change Maresca did. And the change was not more of a tactical change, but rather a kind of talk that he made. And he said that he wanted the team to not give the ball in clumsy areas and the team to be much more precise when receiving the ball. Now, before we even do that analysis, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Now, when you look at this clip here, you can see the position of Malo Gusto, and Malo Gusto is starting out wide, leaving Moises Caicedo isolated in midfield. Now, this is one of the first instances that gave Chelsea lack of control on the pitch. Now, because Gusto was playing in this wide position initially, Caicedo felt isolated in midfield because Enzo Fernandez had moved to occupy the left half space high up. And sometimes, especially in the first half, Caicedo was unable to cover that midfield. So Maresca had to try to tell Gusto to come in field and actually tuck in. Now, that was one tactical problem. The other tactical problem was the wide center backs, as you can see from this clip. And these wide center backs, because Chelsea were trying to have their center backs wide to stretch that 4-4 block that Wolves had created, it became difficult, especially because, you know, when you're passing the ball in 5 to 10 meters, then it is easily intercepted by the opponent. Now, because of this instant, the double pivot had to play close to each other, and because they were playing close to each other, Colwill had to make adventurous passes. Though his passes were great, when the other player received the ball, he was more susceptible to lose the ball. That is, if Marc Cucurella maybe received the ball in the touchline area. And when sometimes this happened, Wolves could either employ an aggressive touchline press and win the ball. And once they win the ball, because Fofana is very far away from Colwill, that will actually hinder the way Chelsea will look to actually control the game without the ball. And this now involved the double pivots coming short to give Colwill an option, and even Robert Sanchez stepping out from his goal line to actually come in and try and play as an extra centre back, trying to make the pitch so wide that Wolves cannot press. Now, this not only gave Chelsea an opportunity, it was a high-risk tactic, but also a risk that Chelsea were willing to take. And this risk actually put them in danger sometimes, in that when Wolves would win the ball in this situation, there was acres of space in which Wolves will actually look to run with the ball. Now, Enzo Maresca decided in the second half that the centre-backs should play slightly closer to each other, reducing those gaps between Cucurella and Colwill and Fofana. This now made Chelsea have that stable backline and the double pivot to play close to each other. And this brings us to our next problem. And our next problem is Caicedo's clumsiness on the ball. So Caicedo will receive the ball without scanning the area, or sometimes his first touch was not poor and Chelsea would lose the ball. Now, because Enzo Maresca had actually employed that Chelsea should look to have their backline close to each other, what he did to actually generate width was actually to pull his wide attacking midfielders out wide, that is players like Fernandez. And that's why we saw Fernandez in this game playing and trying to hug the touchline so that he could receive the ball as a wing back and look to play the ball onto Mykhailo Mudryk. But Mudryk also in this situation was looking to lose the ball. The problem again that we realized here is that Chelsea were also quite poor in winning the second balls, especially when they pressed. Caicedo, to be particular, Caicedo sometimes will receive the second ball, not hold on to the ball well, and he will lose the ball. And immediately he will lose the ball, Wolves will win the ball, play that pass, and now because Chelsea's back Gusto was caught in midfield in this instant, now what will happen is that Chelsea had only 3 defenders, and that's why even Cunha's goal was scored down the right because of the position of Malo Gusto, and this is because Caicedo lost the ball. And now you can see how Wolves are able to transition. Look at the right back spot. Gusto is now trying to struggle to run towards the right back position, but Cunha is able to make that run, making Cunha the ability to actually receive the ball in that right side space and create problems for Chelsea. Now that was one problem. Again, the other problem that we saw is that even when Caicedo was receiving the ball, especially I'm talking about Caicedo because he was actually the one who faced a lot of challenges in that first half, he will receive the ball clumsily, lose the ball, and immediately Wolves will look to transition. And I think this was somehow to do with a lot of pressure because the players had not played, had not won a Premier League game, and they had some reminiscence of last season and how they started poorly. So I think Caicedo was quite tensed. Now, what Maresca changed in the second half is, number one, the backline started to play close to each other. And also, the double pivot, Caicedo really improved his overall ball progression. And bringing in Pedro Neto allowed Chelsea to create overloads down the left. Now, once they created overloads down the left, this opened up spaces for now Cucurella in this position to actually play as a fullback, while Fofana would play closer to Colwill. In that when the ball was lost, Colwill had Fofana next to him. And Cucurella in this position will have Fernandes being the one who drifts out to receive the ball rather than to have Mudryk coming short. And because when Mudryk came short, he actually lost the ball a lot of times because his passing was not quite great or his first touch with the ball was not good. Now what happened is that Enzo Fernandez will pull a fullback out of position, and now Cole Palmer will be the one to occupy that wide circle position in that no, not Cole Palmer. Jackson will now drop deep in that position, pulling the center back out. And because Jackson will also come short to give out passing options, this really disoriented Wolves' backline. And this is why Palmer actually looked to pick up the position in the right half space and actually force the fullback to play inwards and allow Noni Madueke acres of space down the right because the overload was being generated down the left. And this generation was that rather than using Cucurella as a traditional fullback, he decided to use Cucurella as a wide center back, and Enzo Fernandez was coming from the midfield block to receive the ball in the wide area, something that De Bruyne did against Chelsea. And now you could see when Jackson will come deep, he will receive the ball with the center back, flick the ball on to Cole Palmer, and Cole Palmer in this position will create a 2v1 against Wolves left back, in that the left back was either to allow Palmer to receive the ball, who's a dangerous player, or allow the ball to go to Madueke. Now, the easier option for the left back is to allow the ball to go wide because the wide areas are far from the goal areas. And that's why a lot of time in the second half, we started to see Jackson dropping deep, flicking the ball to Palmer, Palmer flicking the ball onto Noni Madueke, and you can see the position of Madueke. And you ask yourself, why is Wolves all dragged towards that side? It's because of the position of Enzo Fernandez. Now, Enzo Fernandez moved from that attacking left half space position in the first half and started to play out wide. Now, the wide position of Enzo Fernandez is actually one tactical adjustment that Enzo Maresca made into this game. And this really made Wolves to have a problem because even Caicedo himself will also shift towards that position, and Malo Gusto will also shift, allowing Palmer and Madueke to receive the ball in acres of space. Another benefit of having Fernandes in this wide left channel is that he will be able to switch the ball because he's a very good passer of the ball, and he will receive the ball with his stronger right foot. Now, the fullback in this position will be caught into two because sometimes Fernandes will switch the ball directly to Madueke, and now if the fullback comes to try and cover Madueke, then Palmer will have that half space run, and Palmer did well because the fullback here is looking at, should I go for the ball or should I look after Palmer? Now, if he doesn't go to the ball, then Madueke can drive in field easily. But if he goes to Madueke, then Palma will occupy that space that he is vacated. So the fullback chooses to go for Madueke, and now Palma can spot that space, and now Palma is running towards that space. Now the center back has to shift across to cover Palma, and now Jackson is having to deal with one center back, and Fernandez is also making that late run in the box. And because of these slight tactical adjustments that Maresca did at halftime, Chelsea managed to gain a lot of advantages in this team and managed to actually have a situation where they were actually creating a lot of problems for Wolverhampton. And this is where we saw Cole Palmer occupying very dangerous positions on the pitch, positions that would really look to affect Wolves' overall play. Because of this problem, Chelsea, because of this problem, you realize that now Wolves had to adapt. And if they adapted by trying to cover Palma and Noni Madueke, what they will realize is now that their backline would be stretched, and now Chelsea would just run through their midfield. And this is now giving Chelsea another deadly weapon that will see a lot of teams be scared playing against Chelsea. The introduction of Dewsbury Hall also created a lot of problems, because now Dewsbury Hall in that left half space position is more intelligent than Fernandez, because he understands that position. He worked under Maresca and knows what Maresca expects in that position, in that he will know when to drop deep, when to move to make runs in behind, drag center backs out of position, and that is actually how Chelsea managed to create the goal that Joao Felix made. So the main tactical change he did is that he started to employ an aggressive wide overload down the left. Now, why is this tactical change so important? One of the key pillars of positional play is the quick shifts of play. This involves allowing your most technical players, that is qualitative superiority that I've really talked about when I'm handling positional play, is that you either have quantitative superiority or qualitative superiority. Now, quantitative superiority is achieved by having your players occupy one zone of the pitch so that they can drag the opponents towards that zone and actually create spaces on other zones of the pitch. Because if the opposition moves to compensate down the left, then what happens is that their right side is weak. And look at how Chelsea wanted to achieve this. They knew very well that Madueke and Palma are their most lethal and deadly attackers. So rather than looking to create overload down the right, they saw that it is best if they created an overload down the left. Now, creating this overload down the left will ensure that Wolves commit a lot of players down the left, where Chelsea do not have better attackers than down the right, because Fernandez is not probably better at attacking than Cole Palmer. And because now Wolves had to compensate by pushing a lot of players because they wanted to win the ball using the touchline, Chelsea were able to use one key strength of Enzo Fernandez, and that is his strength to shift the play from the left wing to the right wing and actually find the Wolves left back in a 2v1 situation on whether the Wolves left back should cover Noni Madueke or look to cover Cole Palmer. And because of this problem that Wolves faced in this game, the fullback was unable to stop it. The Wolves manager was unable to stop it, because if you now do not compensate down the left and try to have your team play in a wide 4-4-2, then you allow players like Caicedo and Gusto in midfield to receive the ball and play penetrative passes in midfield. Now you have to move as a team. Now, because Wolves had to shift on either side, this enabled them to always create a system of weakness on the other side. And in this case, Chelsea preferred down the left and Wolves moving down the left so that they can allow Palma and Noni Madueke the space down the right. This is now giving problems to opponents, in that if they want to play the way Chelsea are playing, or if they think they can play Chelsea the way they used to play Chelsea last season, they are more likely to suffer. And in this case, they will have to adapt their playing strategy with Chelsea, either allowing themselves to sit in a deep block. Now, I ask this question: is it to the best advantage of Chelsea for teams to sit in a deep block? That is the question I'm willing to answer in our next video. So wait for the tactical preview for Servette versus Chelsea. See you again next time, and that is the tactical adjustment that Enzo Maresca made. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video. Thanks for watching.